Good morning. Am I audible? Good morning to all. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good morning to all.
Yes,
Am I
please.
audible, please?
Yes, you are, Sylvester.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that. Just wanted to confirm I'm not having some technical issues from my end. Okay, thank you all for joining us on this webinar today. My name is Sylvester Chikwendu from Casper. I'm a technical sales engineer. So I will be discussing today effective infrastructure monitoring and service operations. And with us also we have a technical sales representative from Motadata that will actually handle the session while we take the introductory part. So before we begin, do we understand what an infrastructure monitoring is all about? And even if we do or we don't, we get to know more about it. Firstly, from our end, with what you can see from the screen, infrastructure and monitoring is important in order of IT department to run at optimal performance and prevent errors proactively before they cause a disruption or affect critical business operations and processes. Now, IT monitoring is essential because it helps resolve issues that would otherwise create a major disaster. And I'm sure for every business, business continuity, BCP, that's what I'll call it in short, business continuity plan is essential. In case there is a downfall, how do you continue to run your business and not make losses? So with regards that, more introduction, because I think I'm going too far. More introduction from our end is we at Casper Technologies, we are dedicated to providing customers with a safe haven to all their IT needs by delivering the highest quality and most innovative IT solutions abetted by a dedicated team who are continually trained to support our customers' business objective, which also brought us to this topic about business IT infrastructure monitoring and management. Now, our vision at Casper is to become the leading and preferred advanced IT solution provider to all our valued customers here in Nigeria and extendedly even outside Nigeria. So our core values here are flexibility, customer-driven, quality service, teamwork, integrity, which we don't joke with, and some others to mention. And of course, we have partners like Sophos, Sage, HP, Fortinet, which will be handling these course, and so many other partners to mention but few. So thank you all at this junction. Without wasting much of our time, so we can wrap up with this in time, I'll give this back to Temi Dayo to continue. Thank you. Temi Dayo, please, you can take over and share your screen.
Thank you so much, Toyo. I really appreciate. So before we proceed further on this, I will share my screen. Permit me to do that in a second. And I also have my team members on this call from India, Bhaskar, Mirel, Mahak, and Kavit. They've joined the call as well. So together we'll all be presenting this platform called Motadata to you. Permit me to just share my screen. Please, can you all see my screen?
Yes, you can.
All right, thank you so very much. So Motadata is the name of the company that is actually offering the network monitoring platform, as well as the ITSM, which is the IT service management. Who are we as Motadata? Motadata is a mid-ray company established in 2010, and we have presence in over 25 countries, about 150 plus workforce across the globe, and we have about 250 partners that we are working with. We are a channel-oriented organization, and that's why we are today working with Casper Tech in delivering this webinar to you. We have over 5,000 customers that are currently using this platform. And what are the market segments where we readily, provide solutions to? So we have the enterprise, we have the government, and telecom. And needless to say, we are recognized by Gartner and by Deloitte and IDC, and these are world recognized, acclaimed, product evaluation company that actually evaluates products and services to the best of their abilities. Now, coming to the vertical where we actually serve, like I said earlier, we serve in the enterprise sector, that is the banking, the BFSI institution as a whole. And if you are running anything that has to do with information technology enabled services, definitely you need a platform like Motadata, or like, let me say NMS or the Itsm, the healthcare sector, the education and the manufacturing. In the government space, definitely we have smart cities, statewide FTTX, integrated transportation management system surveillance. All these put together are different verticals where Motadata can actually be implemented and be served, as well as CSP, which is a combination of the communication and data service providers, managed service providers, as well as internet service providers. Now we are going into the exact platform and why we are actually called Motadata, and what are the different platforms that we actually offer. Over the years, Motadata has realized that as organization grows, therefore their IT needs also grows. And once you have quite a lot of IT infrastructure, the headache now becomes, how do I manage all these infrastructures? What do I need to do to make sure that all these infrastructures are centrally monitored, centrally managed, and I can as well attend to them as at the time there is an issue? Hence the need for us to actually come up with these interactive, effective, and an awesome product called NMS. NMS is a platform. The name NMS actually means network monitoring system. So now this network monitoring system or network monitoring solution definitely helps the individual or an organization to be able to have effective monitoring into all their network infrastructures. And what do we do with this network monitoring system? First of all, we look at correlation. How can we correlate the devices together? How can we understand what is the root cause if there are issues? And if there are issues, how does the IT manager or the network manager or the infrastructure supervisor get to understand that there is a problem with a particular device sitting somewhere on the network in one remote location, or even in the physical location where that particular personnel is? And what is the SLA? How do we manage the SLA with customers, with our own selves as an organization, or with the IT department, that are actually providing those services to their own users internally? How do you manage the SLAs? What is the time frame, the timeline provided to actually resolve every issue, to monitor issues, and to make sure that there is no glitch in the network? And how do we have all of this put together? Is by actually having a unified dashboard that can enhance and enable the IT department or the IT administrator to be able to have an overview into all the network infrastructures at a glance. That might be able to show you something in regards to this later during this webinar, whereby you can see the interactive dashboard that we actually have that is showing you what is down, what is up, what is active, what is not active, what is pingable, what is not responding to pings. You can be able to see all at a glance, once you log into the platform. And definitely, how do you automate your resolution? How do you automate resolving the problems that you have been alerted about? So this is an interactive tool that can actually enhance the operations of every organization, of every IT department at a go. So we're talking about, please let me just permit me to have a pointer. So the network infrastructure, so we have the network monitoring tool, and as well as the ITSM. Now, these are two different modules, as well as they can actually be combined together as a single module, depending on the needs of you have wonderful customers here. Now, on the NMS side of things, we have, what do we monitor? We monitor the network devices on your network, every form of network devices, provided they are SNMP based. Yes, it can be monitored. And we also monitor URL, we monitor middleware servers. When you look at a big organization, you realize that they don't just have switches and routers only. They have servers, they have probably some cloud applications, they have some business services that are very, very important to them as an organization. They have a lot of databases, on their network. And the question is, as a network manager or as an IT support engineer, how do I get an overview of all the network infrastructures that I have, of all the network devices that I have? Hence the need for such a platform like this. We'll be getting deeper into each of these different modules as we go along in this webinar. And also under the NMS, we have a very fantastic feature, which is called the Network Configuration Management, which is the NCM. Now, the Network Configuration Management stores all of the configurations of all the devices that you have, and which can also enable you to be able to roll back these configurations in case there are glitches or there are issues on a device. So take, for instance, a switch or a router has been configured today, perfectly working well. And let's say in the next 30 days, there was an issue and probably somebody deleted something or edited something, and all of a sudden there is a chaos on the network. Now, this NCM, what it does is you can actually look at what you have, let's say in the last 30 days, in the last 20 days, in the last 15 days, in terms of the configuration that you have. And you can look at it line for line to be sure that, okay, what I have previously configured and what it is right now correlate. If it does not correlate, then you can just roll back all those configurations to it, and you have your network up and running. So this actually preserves every of your configuration. It stores every of your configuration within the system. And this system has a very high data retention capacity based on the platform that you provided for us, or based on the capacity of the server you have given to us. That will determine how long data can actually be retained on the system. As well as we have what is called DAP, which is the data analytics. Now, the data analytics, what this does is for you to be able to have all the logs of all the networking devices on your network. Isn't this a beautiful thing? You can have all the logs centrally put together, and you can do analysis of each and every of the logs to be sure of what exactly is flowing through your network. So this gives you an overview. So this is actually a complete comprehensive product that enables you not just to monitor. You can monitor. You can also save the configuration of your all the of your network devices, as well as you can have the logs of every devices. I know that most of the devices actually has their individual logs, but can you have all the logs of all the devices centrally put together? That's another question. So this gives you an overview, a centralized overview of all the logs. So you have all of your Cisco's, Juniper, Huawei, Arista, whatever products you have on your network. Yes, you can centrally have all the logs put together under. Anybody with a question? You want to ask a question? All right. So all these different modules are under the NMS. You can decide to have all these modules all put together as one, or just go for either of whatever you think you need per time. So you can either go for the IIP, which is Infrastructure Intelligence Platform, or the NCM or the DAP, or you can go for the three together. On the other side, which is the right-hand side of this particular screen you're looking at, we have what is called the ITSM. Now, the IT Service Management. Just imagine you have an organization of, let's say, from 50 to about, say, 1,000 people working in that particular organization. Different IT different IT devices has been given to everyone. You have laptops, you have desktops, you have printers, you have IP phones, different devices, that cut across the different departments within that particular organization. The larger the organization, the larger the edict for the IT support department to be able to manage each and every individual within that particular organization. Now, we have actually come up with an interesting product called Itsm, which spill from ITIL, which is ITIL, and that's actually like the standard. And we have also upgraded on this in making it that, okay, fine, we can actually manage the services that is going to our IT users within an organization. And that's why we have what is called the high TSM. Now, what this does for you basically is that instead of each and every IT support engineer running around from one table to the other, how about automating their process in such a way that they can intelligently respond to the needs of their users? So take, for instance, a larger organization, as I was saying earlier, and there are issues. You have probably the network is not working, the computer screen is gone, blue, or one thing or the other happens in a large organization that require the need of a support IT technician. Now, in doing this, instead of you just making a call and trying to harass the technicians and all of that, you can just create a ticket right from your desk, or either by email. Even your colleague can help you to create a ticket if your system is not active for you to be able to create a ticket, and you can just create a ticket to the IT support team, and they can see the ticket, work on the ticket intelligently, interact with you intelligently on how to resolve the issues, and come up with a resolution and fix all of your issues. And this is not just limited to just say computers alone. It could even be, this can be used across board. And so we have different features and properties like incident management, change and release management, problem management. If there are incidents, if there is a problem within an organization, how do you manage it up? What are the processes in getting those things resolved? And if you want to make a change in a particular organization, maybe you want to roll out a new antivirus, a new application for the accounting department, what does that change requires? What procedures, what process do you have to go through in order to be able to have this done? What approvals needs to be gotten, to be given in order to be able to have this change release, effected? And if there are problems, somebody might be saying, what is the difference between incident and problem? We'll get to know later on. Incident, yes, is when you have a normal issue, but once that issue is becoming way too much, then it becomes a problem. Then you can actually just create a problem ticket that, yes, there is a major problem going on out there that we need to fix. Probably it's going to require a little bit of more planning. Then you can actually go through that phase of planning it out and getting those problems fixed. So, as well as every of your assets can be managed. So it's not just about how to troubleshoot those assets, but you can actually manage every of those assets as well. You can keep a record of what device you have, who has this device been assigned to. You can get to know who has been assigned to. You can actually, from the standpoint of the IT manager, you can get to know even all the applications on each of every computer, what is running on every system. And this also helps you to know when maybe your antivirus is due, when you need to do any maintenance, when you need to change anything that has to do with that particular IT infrastructure in that particular network. So you can see that this is actually a very comprehensive and comprehensive platform that doesn't just monitors what you have, but also helps in attending to those devices in case there are issues. So this is a broader spectrum of product that can be to the enhancement and to making sure that your work is automated, it's easy, and much more effective as an organization. And needless do I need to say that you can actually have agents being rolled out, remote agent on all of this, and role-based access is possible. And we also have REST APIs in case we need to integrate with a third-party system. And we have fantastic plugins already created that in case any of the network devices you want to monitor in case you want to monitor any networking devices that is not readily captured within this platform, we have plugins that we can actually apply in order for us to be able to discover this platform and get it monitored. And also, this platform can either be on-prem, on a private cloud, or on a public cloud. Whichever one you think is okay by you, that we can go by. Any question before I move to the next slide? Any question, please?
No question.
All right. I don't know if any of my team members have anything to say on this slide before I jump to the next one. Bhaskar? Mahak, do you have anything to say right here before I move to the next slide?
I guess we are good to go.
All right, thank you. Now, what are the different capabilities? Like you can see here, we can actually monitor different platforms. We can monitor different platforms across different network and different locations.
Sorry, can I ask a
please,
question?
Please go ahead.
Okay, I think I sent something now. You said something about ITCM.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
You were explaining ITCM.
ITSM.
ITSM, yes.
Yes,
So
IT service management. Yeah.
Okay, IT service management.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to understand
Okay.
if a device or application that you can integrate into an existing application. Is it a device that you buy or is an application that you can integrate into existing application?
As a software, is a
software.
Yeah, it's a software that you have to install in your environment. If you have like a VMware server, then we can install that on it. So it's not like an hardware that we have to physically bring into your network.
Then you talked about NMS. What does that stand for? Sorry, I joined in late. So
okay, NMS, that's the network monitoring system. It's also a software.
Okay.
Yeah, so this helps you to be able to monitor all of your network devices.
Okay.
In your environment.
Okay.
Your routers, your switches, your radios, your database, servers, applications, emails, all of that can actually be monitored.
NCM,
NCM, that's the network configuration management. So this helps you to be able to store all of the configurations on your network devices. And you can have it, restored later in case there are issues on your network in terms of the configurations of your networking devices across board.
All right, thank you.
And DAP has to talk about data analytics, which helps you to be able to capture all of the logs of all the devices on your network that is being monitored. You can actually capture.
You've explained DAP.
Yes, I've also explained DAP.
Okay, data what?
Data analytics platform. Okay. So this helps you to be able to analyze all the different logs of the network devices that you have on your network. Okay. So this is like a centralized pool that brings everything under a central management for you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I think there's a question in the chat box.
Okay, let me check that out. How many servers are required for the deployment of this solution? Just a server. Just a server.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
The server, this application, you can just build a server and link it to other servers you have there. So you can use it to do your monitoring. Or you can integrate it. It's maybe if you have what's it called again? Any of the servers you are using in the office, you can install it on that server and also link it to other servers and monitor your applications and the users platform.
Okay, so basically, this particular platform is going to be installed on a server environment. So if you have a server that is Linux based, we can actually share the requirements with you. Casper can have that shared with you, what is required for you to have this platform being installed in your
It must be
environment.
Linux. It doesn't work with Windows.
The different operating system is Red Hat, and we also have Linux. For Windows, I have to check with my team to be sure if we can actually have it on a Windows server.
So right now we are providing this on Linux only. Windows is not there. So just to reduce the total cost of ownership, we are providing the bundled ISO file that will include the OS, that is Ubuntu in the platform. So no Windows license is required here. Okay.
Does that answer the question, ma'am?
So if I'm not using Linux in my office, it's of no use to me then.
So if you don't have Linux, then we can provide you the bundled ISO file that would include the OS, database, and the product build itself, right? So in that case, if you don't have Linux, then we just requiring hardware or a VM from your side, and we can boot the ISO. So entire package will be installed along with OS, database, and the product itself.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any further question? Let me check the chart. What is the minimum configuration for this software on the VM or physical server? Does it impact network services and performance on other workstations? It does not have impact on any network services workstation. The system requirements, Casper will share all of this with you at the end of this meeting. It can be hosted on a VM. Yes, yeah, it can be hosted on a VM. It can be hosted on a virtual machine. Yeah.
So for a POC, you can have an 8 GB, 8 core, and a 200 GB hard disk. That is for the POC. That is the minimum requirement. It will increase if we have this, a larger infrastructure. So, we have more number of devices to be monitored, then, the hardware will increase. So this is the minimum which I have posted over the chat. That is to perform a POC. Okay. Okay.
All right. So I believe we can proceed. So this just shows the different platforms, okay, which can be monitored. We have a cloud. If you have any cloud application, cloud servers, here's SD-WAN systems, virtualization, middleware, databases, servers, email applications, application server platforms, web servers, URLs. So all of these can actually be monitored by the same platform that we are proposing to you today. Move. Okay, so this just gives you a broader scope of the different applications and devices which can actually be monitored as of today by the platform. So on the networking devices, we can actually monitor your firewall, your router, your switches, or any generic SNMP device on your network. That can be monitored. And on the email, I would like to stress on that. So we have SMTP and semantic gateway exchange gateways. All of this can actually be monitored by the same platform. Now, I would like to say this: we don't do security, because I've gotten a question regarding this before. We don't do email filtering. We only monitor the application. So just to make sure that this is up and running and emails are passing through, but we don't actually do filtering of those emails. Just to put this across to everyone. And so this just gives you an overview of the different kind of servers or devices or applications that the system has the capacity and the that can actually help you enhance your business. Somebody has, you want to ask a question, Jane, please?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yes, you said something about that this platform does not filter
Emails.
or emails.
Yes.
So assuming I have a filtering emails installed on my email and you are monitoring it, does it have any effects? Would they clash, since maybe my antivirus might be seeing it as a virus or as an intruder somehow?
Okay, so like I said, it is not a security platform, so it does not actually perform any security functions.
Okay.
What it does is just to monitor the application or the server you're using for that email.
And my security platform, whatever security I've already installed on my email, will not
it will
see it
run
as a threat.
No, not at all. I don't think so. Mahak, can you come in here? I don't think it's going to see it as a threat. And let the technical guy actually give you a broader response to that.
Tayo, can you just help me with the question again?
If I have the security installed on my platform and this comes in as a monitoring applications, won't my own application, my security platform, see it as a threat? Since it's a monitoring application.
So
do you understand?
So security platforms are majorly different products. Then this we have is a monitoring platform, right? So here it is monitoring the entire infrastructure.
Okay, assuming I'm using Sophos.
Sorry?
Assuming I'm using Sophos as my security platform, won't it see it as a threat?
Okay. No. Mark, hold on. So if you're using Sophos as a security, it's not going to see my platform as a threat. Neither will my platform see whatever security device you are using as a threat, because we can actually monitor that device to make sure that it is up and running for you as well. So to ensure that, okay, the system is up and running, the CPU utilization is okay, the RAMs are okay, they are performing optimally. So that is actually what we do. We only monitor those devices. But in terms of the security of your network, now the security device of applications that you have will keep running without any interference.
With this your application?
Definitely.
And it's not going to clash.
Not at all.
There are some applications that you will install, like let me say accounting applications or HR applications that you will install. Then you have to give a rule, something like an instruction to that your security application to not to see that allow that application to run.
Okay, I get you. So now there are some ports will actually tell you to open up for us to have some monitoring done on your network. So there should be no clashes at all.
Okay.
Yeah, there should be no clashes, and this will not actually bring any security breach to your network either.
Okay.
Yeah. Any further question, please? Can we proceed? I believe your silence says yes. All right. So I was trying to explain the different capabilities of the ITSM that we have. Usually, the concern is how do I complain, how do I raise a ticket or make my issue known to my IT department that I'm facing XYZ problem as regards the device that has been given to me. So now this particular platform enables you to be able to communicate effectively with your IT department and also coordinate actions from the IT department with you as regards how to resolve every issue you might be faced with that has to do with the IT infrastructure that you have in your network. So you can actually raise a request ticket or an incident ticket to your team saying that this is what the problem is that I'm going through. So can I get an assistance in resolving this issue? And in case you need something new for yourself, say probably you need a new mouse, you need a new keyboard, or you need a new cable, whatever the need might be, you can actually just raise a service ticket a service form can be raised to your team on this, and it goes through the necessary approvals, and that will be provided to you. So these are the different parameters or features and properties that you can actually have to use in order to be able to automate your internal business operations. So we have the incident or request management, we have the problem management, we have the change management, and the release management. Now, once there are too many incident tickets, it can be categorized as a problem, or probably there is a major problem. That is also a problem. And probably in another session, or if you have the opportunity to take you through the platform, you get to understand who can actually raise an incident ticket and who can raise a problem ticket. So these are parameters that can be defined by different organizations as to what their internal processes are like. And change request or change management basically is for you to be able to go through different kind of changes within your organization. So if you want to change an antivirus, you want to change your security applications, you want to change your accounting application, whatever change that is required that will actually bring about 2, 3, 4, 5 people to deliberate and roll things out, then you can actually go through this particular change management request in order to be able to have all these documented, okay, and worked upon, and also release. So take, for instance, you have a store house or a warehouse where you store all these different devices, IT infrastructure devices, and there's always a store manager, within an organization that enables that whatever request has come to him or her, they can document things and also go about the release of those particular devices or whatever it is to the user. So you go through this release management. Knowledge management basically talks about having a technical know-how or an ability, an information basically of how you can deal with one issue or the other by yourself, by the users of this application. So the IT team or the IT department will actually populate this particular folder with different information as regards the devices you are using. So be it a computer, a printer, an IP phone, whatever it is that you are using, they'll just give you an information as to what you can do, maybe the first level of troubleshooting you can do in order to be able to have those things working before you contact them. And any other information that can be useful to you as a user, that will be populated within this knowledge management. We have service catalog whereby you can actually raise different kind of services, service requests to your team. It could be a purchase of a new computer, a purchase of a new mouse, anything at all that requires service can actually be raised from here. And like I said, asset management earlier, this gives you a complete overview of all the assets that you have. So you can track and monitor who this asset has been assigned to, who is using this particular asset. In case that person is leaving your organization, how are you going to be retrieving that asset back? What applications are on that asset? And based on the applications that are on that asset, how are you going about their support? So take, for instance, you have antivirus, and antivirus is yearly paid for. And you can actually have within this particular platform the next date of your renewal, so that also informs the people managing the platform or managing the IT infrastructure to know when the due date for the support contract is to be done, and all of that. So the asset management basically is very broad, and it helps you to be able to have both your IT and non-IT assets put together under a particular platform, centrally managed, centrally monitored, and centrally assigned. And at the end of the day, you realize that you are having your assets, being preserved, so to say, in a platform whereby you can understand what and who is using what. Then also remote desktop. Remote desktop is just for your IT team to be able to log in remotely and be able to troubleshoot whatever issues you're having with your computer or devices, as the case may be. Now, purchase management. So basically, this helps you to be able to have different vendors. So some organizations have different vendors that actually, they buy from. So this helps you to be able to have all this within on the same platform, whereby you can actually raise a PO to your vendor and get to track how things are being purchased, IT, infrastructural devices are being purchased within an organization. So it helps you to also keep track of all of your vendors. So you know who your vendor for this particular thing is. And once there is a request, you can easily raise a request to them even from this platform. And that integration can also be done. Contract management. This is also based on different contracts that you have with different vendors. So you can have these being recorded and also having an overview of what contract is going to be expiring at what time of the year, at what time, and when it's going to be renewed. All of these management can be put together. Project management, in case there are projects to be rolled out in your organization regarding one thing or the other, you can actually go through this process of having a team, a project team that can have all of these being put together, basically. So this calls for documentation of meetings, of processes, in order to be able to roll out a particular project within that organization. So this just helps the organization to have a complete automated and centrally managed platform, whereby every of your processes as an organization can be vectored into with this same platform. That does not mean that you have to use everything if you don't really have all of that, but it's just a nice to have platform that can enhance your operations across multiple departments, multiple segments within an organization. Patch management, provided you need to roll a patch as regard maybe one device or the other, this helps you to be able to go through all the different procedures in order to be able to have those patch being released and being installed on your devices. And definitely, needless do I need to say that you can actually get a very fantastic and good reporting structure and mechanism within this particular platform. So you can get to understand who is doing what, at what point was this raised, what is the status of this particular issues. So this helps you to be able to automate all of your workflows as well. And also you can get customized reporting based on the workflow that has been created. So this helps you and actually enhance every of your business practices, business operations within an organization, all put together under one platform. Isn't this a good product for you to have as an organization? I want to hear your feedbacks, please. Do you consider this as an application you think you need to have?
It is.
There's only one person that has been talking since. Toyo, am I only presenting to one person? I would like to hear the feedback from every other person, you know. So,
yeah, it is great software application to have in the environment.
All right. All right. Do you have any question for me at all? Or for the rest of my team? It could be technical, no problem. Please just raise the question. We are here to answer you. Any question regarding ITSM? All right, so we'll be going into the different USPs that gives you the opportunity to be able to actually have this particular kind of platform. Why would you want to have a platform like this? This actually helps you, first of all, to have a complete IT operation solution within your environment. So modernized IT service management, okay, platform that helps you to be that helps you with a complete visibility into all of your environments. So you can actually have multiple environments. You can have cloud, you can have on-prem environments, you can have different networking devices, you can have whatever you have on your, within your organization, within your environment. This actually helps you to be able to have a complete visibility. So you have you understand what is going on with your switch, with your router, with your computers, you know, with any SNMP devices that you have, with your databases, with your servers, you know, as well as even your IT department can also help you troubleshoot whenever you have an issue. So this gives you a complete visibility into your environment. And definitely, this also helps you to reduce your mean time to respond. Okay, that is MTTR, mean time to respond. So for the NMS. So take for instance, once there is a problem with a particular device, you get an alert. You are immediately alerted that yes, there is a problem with this particular device. You can click on the device and check, okay, what exactly is the problem? Is it a CPU problem? Is it probably the interface is getting capped based on what you have configured? Is it that the RAM, has suddenly stopped working? Or is it that the CPU has shut down? Or is the device completely down? So this gives you the opportunity to be able to instantly figure out exactly what the problem is. That is how interesting this particular product is. This helps you to be able to also get your RCA faster, across all the devices you are monitoring. And this helps the IT team to be very proactive. So before, if you are in the service provision sector, and this helps you to be very proactive with your customers. You get to understand and know that the device of the customer is down before they even call you for adventure. You get to understand that and you try to see how you can resolve these issues for them. And also, we have a single license for each of these devices. Like take for instance, other products out there in the market. You can probably have license based on different ports. Take for instance, a 48 port switch or a 24 port switch. They will bill you based on the different ports. So one switch with 48 ports is already 48 licenses. But with us, one switch with 48 ports is just one license. One switch with 24 ports is just one license. As well as you also have the capability of monitoring each of those interfaces. So it's just one license that cut across that particular device. Somebody wants to ask a question?
Yes, please. You just mentioned something now. So assuming I have like 10 switches.
Yeah.
Or 15 switches. Depending. So I must pay licenses for all the switches.
Definitely.
It's not that one license will cover the switch, all the switches.
No, one license will cover all the ports within a switch.
Not all the switches.
Not all the switches. So every switch is a license.
Oh.
Yeah, but with other vendors, actually with other vendors, every port is a license.
It depends. Because what you are saying is that the license is per agent. Agent can be switch, can be router, can be anything.
Exactly.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if I'm coming in as an agent or as I'm coming in as a company, one license can serve me for all the switches I have in my company.
No. What it's trying to say is now if you have, let's say, 100 devices, that's 100 license.
It's going to be too much now. I mean, when it has to do with cost.
No, not at all. Is still very much cost effective compared to if I'm saying that, okay, for each of the device you have, can I know how many ports of those switches that you have? And I will be according to those ports. So let's take, for instance, you have 10 switches with 48 ports. That's already 480, right? I'm saying I will only bill you for 10 licenses and not 480 licenses.
It's not going to be cost effective at all. But
No,
there are
it's
some
going to be.
switches. It's not, because it's like in a big organization where we can, you will have like up to, let me say, 200 switches, depending on what you're managing. So you're going to bill me according to what the switches I'm using. Do you understand what I'm saying? And also, how are you going to bill for your application that is hosted on the cloud?
How are we going to do it?
Bill. Cost, yes, to cost the application that you host on the cloud, just like Office 365.
Bhaskar?
Yes, Tayo.
Yeah, please, can you give a response to that? How do we build cloud applications?
So see, we have this one device, one license policy here. So, be it any type of device, be it an application, be it a database, server, or a network device. So let's suppose we have 100 monitoring license. So we can choose any of the device to monitor that. Like we can choose some network devices, we can choose some server, or maybe we can choose some application. Be it like let's suppose we are having some AWS service running and we need to monitor that. So that is where we have this unified license policy and one device, one license policy. So like Tayo explained, like if a single switch and is having a 24 interface, so all the interfaces of that switch will be monitored under a single license only. Hello. So Tayo, was that the question, right?
Yeah, so take for instance, Office 365, which is in the cloud. If you want to have that done, how do you build for that?
So if I want to monitor Office 365, then it will be a single license for a service.
All right. Does that answer your question, Ma?
Yes.
Thank you. There was a question in the chat, one license per server. Yes, if we are monitoring that server, it's going to be one license per it. If that is your question, I believe I've answered it.
Don't you have option that you charge per range? Let's say 1 to 50 devices, 1 to 100 devices, 1 to 200 or something like that, so that customers can now pick the range that is applicable to the environment.
To them, yes, yes.
Yeah, sure. We can give you that range of pricing. That is very possible. Casper can share that with you. We can give you that range of pricing. Not a
And
problem.
you said you don't bill according to the how many ports you have in a switch.
No.
You
don't do
bill
that.
per switch. So even
Yeah,
if
per
I
switch.
have a port that has a switch that have like 5, what you are going to bill me for the switch that has the 24 ports is what you're going to bill for the switch that has 12 ports.
Exactly. And if you have a switch that also has about 72 ports, it's just the same as one license as the same that has 5 ports. All right. So there is also an ease of use with this particular platforms. GUI config, okay. You don't really have to do anything on the back end. Everything you need to do can actually be configured on the GUI. You can auto discover your devices, and it has an open API in case you want to have any further integration to be done with this particular platform. Integrations could be SMS, gateways, and if you have any other applications you want to have integrated, we can look at that based on the APIs, and we can confirm that to you. So it makes integrations a lot easier, faster, and very much possible. And definitely you can automate workflows in this particular platform, most especially in the Itsm platform. You can automate every of your workflows. You can create a rule, and that rule can actually be followed through right from the point of creating a ticket to how these tickets are being attended to by the technical team. So all these are configurable as per your need. And definitely this is a platform that is scalable. If you are starting with let's say 50 devices you are monitoring today, or on the ITSM side, you are looking at maybe a 100 IT infrastructure asset and maybe 10 technicians, and you want to scale later, you really don't have to change anything that much. Probably based on the kind of server you are using, you might just have to change the parameters of the hardware, maybe from 8 GB. Now you might not need to go to something higher that can accommodate more devices that you want to actually have on it. So it's very flexible and it's very scalable. You really don't have to bother your head with probably changing an entire infrastructure. No, you just need to make some few changes and you are good to go with the upgrade that you want to do in terms of adding more to what you already have. So I've been saying, this is just to summarize everything in different points. So you have a unified monitoring, you have a complete visibility into all of your network devices, okay? And definitely reporting is very, very customizable, and there is also compliance, and you can actually get logs, okay, analyzed effectively on this platform. And definitely you can also meet your business SLAs, both to your customers and even within your organization, to maintain and your SLAs. Things that this platform does is ease of operation, which is automation. So this helps you to be able to automate your workflows accordingly. The next slides basically just give us a little bit of an overview of different service ops, okay, that are available. So you can actually have IT ops, which is IT operations, different from the service operation. So the IT operation consists of the infrastructure monitoring, network configuration, log analytics, network traffic analysis, just like what we have said, which is the NMS, and the service management is the ITSM. So this is just a bit of an overview, okay, into different environments. We've actually discussed all of these earlier as well. So these are the different clientele that we have across board. In Nigeria, we have Dufil using the ITSM, and we have some ISPs using the NMS. And these can also be cascaded into other enterprise organizations. And I believe with you joining us on this webinar, I believe you've seen the opportunities within your organization based on this application, which you can actually use this application to do, basically within the organization that will enhance what you are delivering right now, either to yourselves or to your customers. So these are different clienteles that we have across board. These are across multiple regions in the world. So this brings me to the end of our presentation. Do we have further questions, any clarifications that we need to have regarding this particular platform?
I don't have any question, but the application depends on the cost. They're very robust.
If we can understand your requirements, I think Casper will be able to share you what cost is going to it will involve, and definitely
assuming you want to use the whole application, the whole package.
The whole package. So it now depends on, we need to have an idea into, okay, what is the number of devices that you have, what is the number of technicians that you have, and also what is the number of IT assets that you have.
Okay.
So we need
when
to
you say technician, what do you mean by technician?
Technicians, I mean maybe your IT support department. How many are they, and how many would you want them to actually have access to this platform?
No, you don't need how many. You just need people that needs to have access.
Yes, so the license for ITSM basically is cascaded into that particular way, whereby you have the number of technicians that will be handling the stuff, the request, and also the IT asset that you have. What is the number of the IT asset that you have? That is how the license is structured.
Okay.
Yeah. So for everyone that is also quiet, because I know there are quite a lot of people on this call today. I can't see Hall right now, but I know there are quite a lot of people. We have about 22 people, but I'm only hearing just 2 or 3 voices since. So can we please unmute our mics and let's have a discussion? just for the next 2 minutes. Is this platform going to enhance your operation in any way? Let's have a discussion. Mr. Michael, Mr. Ade Senior.
It's supposed to be morning, afternoon, and night now. That's one.
Is this a platform that is going to enhance your operation? Is this something that is going to benefit your organization? Mr. Fajano. We'd like to hear from you.
Yes, but I just dropped in late now, so it's going to be a bit difficult to follow. So I want to follow the recording and see what I can do on it. Yeah.
That's fine. If you don't mind, we can actually have a meeting with you as well. We can probably book a meeting with Casper Tech, and we can come around and just have a session with you, a one-on-one session. Not a problem.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah.
But can I have the recordings? Can I just go through it?
Definitely. The recording will be shared with you all, with all the participants.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Madam Tabitha, I believe. Mr. Torilokwe or Madam Torilokwe. I want to hear from everyone, basically. Mr. or Miss or Mrs. Zugwe. I don't know whether you're a male or female. Please, I would just like to hear from everyone. Harmony Innovation Hub. Mr. Edward.
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
Right.
All right.
So,
okay. For me, like I said earlier, it's a great tool to have in the environment. What concerns me most is the costs. Okay? If only I can have an idea of the cost, then I know how to convince my top management to buy into this. Sean is a great application.
all right. I think Casper will actually engage you better after this call in getting to understand all of your requirements with the different numbers of probably devices you would like to monitor. And also, if you're having both, if you want to have both modules, which is the NMS and the ITSM, then we can be also have to have an idea into the number of technicians and the IT assets that you have. Then we can come up with a proposal that would definitely suit your budget.
That's fine. I'm looking forward to talking to Casper.
Sure. Mr. Abdulaziz.
It's a good application, but also, is it possible that you, instead of all the modules that are together, because you will find an environment whereby they have something that can do one or two things which this application is trying to do also. Is it possible that you have some modules, not combined together like this, that can be like a, how will I put it now, like a standalone, that okay, in terms of asset management alone, in terms of patch management alone, because for instance, in an environment like us, we have our like something which can fit into asset management, which can fit into service desk management. So maybe you just need something like a patch management or service catalog or something like that. Is it possible for it to stand alone instead of module everything together? That's one. Another thing is that the license, is it perpetual or annual subscription?
Okay, so we have both perpetual and annual subscription license. So it depends on which one you would like to go for. But both pricing, I'm sure, will be shared with you for you to be able to choose which one can actually fit into your budget at the time. But there are both licenses available. Now, on the other question in terms of the modules, yes, we can actually have some modules being given to you. So we'll also let Casper share that with you. So in case you don't actually necessarily have to take every of the modules, what modules can you actually have as of now? So that will also let you know what are the combination of the modules you can have. I know you can have asset management on its own with I think patch management and other with knowledge, and also you can have incidents. So I mean, there's a way to break up those modules for you. So we'll actually let Casper get back to you on those. So you can choose which of the modules will be applicable for your current operation.
Is the license, is it one of?
So you can have a one-off license and you can have a subscription-based license.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Please.
So my comment is a good application or solution to have for every company, but where I have issue with is the flexibility of the license, because basically what it means is before you get a new server or a new router for your organization, you have to think of acquiring a new license and a whole new, I know how these solutions work. Some of the time, your in-house technical personnel won't know how to configure it. So the vendors would have to come in and set it up. So you have to just make preparation for all of those things before you acquire a new device in terms of a server or router. So it is some sort of convenience for the organization. Then I also want to know, maybe you mentioned it, but if I did not hear that, I would like to know if in terms of network, this solution, does it tell you how good the network is, or does it just tell you whether or not there isn't a network? Because I know of a solution, we used to use ones that can only tell you that there is or there is no network. It doesn't tell you how the quality of the network you have. So that's my question and my take.
Okay, so thank you very much. To answer the very first question you asked, which has to do with scalability, I believe. Now, from my interaction with different customers and also, having to sell this platform across different nations and all of that, one thing is very sure. If let's say you have say 50 devices on your network, I will advise, based on my years of experience, you go for maybe 60 devices license. Now the 10 is more or less like an extra that can help you to be able to immediately add on whenever you need to add on. We cannot restrict you from buying new routers or adding to your network if you have to add to your network, okay, based on different devices. But like you said, but one thing is very sure and certain: if you are getting onboarded on the same platform, your teams will be adequately trained. So you don't necessarily have to fall back on us in order to be able to have these discovered. You can just install the the device on their network and get it discovered by themselves. So we'll definitely give you a good training that will enhance your team in order to be able to operate these without even our own interference, unless if there are things that are above you that you want to call on us, on our technical team, to be able to resolve for you. If not, then you are good to go. So that in itself is something I will advise. So this just leaves rooms for scalability, as that's when you need to add some more devices on your network, and that was not pre-planned, initially. So that will take care of that. Now, on the other question, which has to do with if it actually shows you the status of your network, is that what you mean, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to get more clarity into that. If it says status of your network, you need to make sure if your network is up and running. So if it's a network in what sense? Is it the devices or the bandwidth? Which of them? You want to have an idea of if you have this X amount of bandwidth and all of that, or because if you say network is broad. So I need to understand if you say your network status, I need to understand exactly what it is.
Yes, I'm referring to bandwidth. For instance, when there is no transfer, as I mentioned earlier, I know of a monitoring solution that only tells you that the network is bad when there is no transfer of data at all. So sometimes the transfer of data is slow and the monitoring tool does not pick it up. So yes, bandwidth. The bandwidth is slow. It's the latency.
Okay, so if there are packet losses and all of that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this will actually alert you if there are. Kavit, I believe that's right? You can actually throw some more light on this.
Yes, so definitely in terms of latency, in terms of that packet loss, we are also able to monitor that. So with Motadata solution, it's not only about the bandwidth that you are having, all the packet loss, even the jitter that we are experiencing, all those information in terms of the reports, in terms of the KPIs, and in terms of dashboard, we are also providing.
All right, thank you.
All right. And any further question?
None from me.
Mr. Obasi, or is it Mrs. Obasi?
None from me.
All right. So I believe this has been an exciting, webinar, and I believe you've learned one thing or the other. We would like to engage you more and in person. If you give us the opportunity to do that, we would like to schedule meetings with you and meet with you and have a more discussion with you on this platform and see how best we can assist and support you and your organization with this wonderful platform that can bring a lot of ease and enhance your operation, that can bring a lot of ease into your network and also enhance your visibility into having a complete and centralized management of all of your networking devices, as well as having an effective service being rendered by your IT team to their IT users. So I will hand over this tutorial and we can probably bring this to a close if there are no further comments or questions. Turn you over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Empire. Thank you, everyone. We've come to the end of this webinar. The recording will be shared across. So thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, thank you so much, all, and have a good and a productive day. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone, for joining this call.
Thank you.
Thank you all. This is bad and live. Bye.